Get the new Samsung Galaxy S26 Plus for $0.
Wee bit chilly.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Good afternoon, folks. This is Jonas Brasco. This is Up the Fulham. Harry Wilson is in the lineup today. This is Fulham at Forest, live from the City Ground. Well, I'm not at the City Ground, but you get the point. Sorry about that. And we are now. And now we are up. Sam Barrett is the ref for this one. And I realized that my lovely face is not on the screen yet. And my. Our thing is quite busy. And of course it happened. Sorry, new camera view. We'll have to make some adjustments. Wow, we are really going to have to make some adjustments. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Right now, we're going to focus on the game. We'll make adjustments at halftime. But and apparently, I have a lineup error. So we'll fix that in a moment. I apologize. And of course they got nothing else to focus on other than Marco Silva and what's going to happen with him next season. Yeah, I'm not sure why. You know, right now, let's focus on the game. Don't worry about that right now. It's one. They tried Roadrunner Robinson. I don't know about that. All right, I know what happened there. Right now, Tete has it. And the big thing about this game is the one problem that Fulham hasn't done in a long time. In fact, it hasn't happened in 15 games, which is keep a clean sheet. That's the big key to Fulham winning this game is just keeping a clean sheet. And that's like literally the one major. That's the big thing. All they have to do is just keep a clean sheet. I mean, Europe is definitely a goal, and it's glad to see Harry Wilson back. He had mentioned earlier that he was feeling pretty good going into Wales's playoff. Trying to find Good job of keeping it in, but went straight to the keeper. There is quite a there are quite a few Fulham fans, but slowly but surely slipping in. Fulham still trying to figure out games early. All right. Thank you. It finally decided it wanted to refresh. And apologies. I know that wasn't Forrest's current lineup, so that's been adjusted too. See, we're getting there. But Forrest in their traditional red, Fulham in their traditional white. In regards to kickoff, this Forrest is not actually in the worst place right now. And they really, in this table wise, they control their own destiny. And they're actually, what do I want to say? They are currently outside. They're currently at 17th due to goal differential over West Ham, followed by Burnley, Wolves. No score so far in these opening games. As far as yesterday was concerned, Burnley, Bournemouth, there was no score there. Wolves will actually play Brentford tomorrow. Liverpool, Spurs will be the 12:30 game. West Ham, Man City, that was a surprise with the 1-1 draw. Newcastle takes out Chelsea. Arsenal 2-0 over Everton. And of course, back where we are today with no score in this window. Crystal Palace leads no score. Manchester United and Aston Villa no score. And the commentators here are having really a hard time getting into this. Samuel Barrott is the ref for this one. Meantime, Josh King tries to get to Sanderberg, but Sanderberg was nowhere near. Now Forrest trying to get on the break. Iwobi does a good job of keeping. And not Robinson, but Anderson gives up the corner. Good job by Nico Williams. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Forest kit with the badge. Elliot Anderson's gonna take the corner. And they're saying point out Jesus back corner. It just sails over. And with that, it's gonna be a goal kick for Fulham. Crap, crap. There we go. Brief life adjustment has been fixed. In the meantime, Elliot Anderson, and he skims it right. Elliot Anderson, great opportunity. Gets past Bassi. Is able to make Bassi overrun. Elliot had a shot, and he just He just skims it right. So far, definitely the best chance of force in this game. Leno with the kick. Bert Leno has struggled as of late. It's been 14 straight games that Fulham has not been able to keep a clean sheet. Ball goes off of Oscar Bob, and it's going to be a throw in for Forest. Robinson's able, Anthony Robinson's able to get to it, and it's going to be a throw in for Fulham. But so far, Forest has definitely had the more of the possession. They were talking about Forest's goal goals. To, ah, nice tackle by Bassi. Does it twice and almost is able to get the and nearly got it the third time, but there was a foul by Ibrahim Sangare. But great one, tackle gets the ball. Two, tackle gets the ball. I mean, when someone asked me who was asked me last week who was my favorite Fulham player right now, it's easily it's Calvin Bassey. He may not score a lot of goals, which is perfectly fine, but as far as a defensive back, he is a lot more consistent than our captain, Joachim Anderson, which gave up a penalty in the Southampton game last week. And yeah, it was a penalty. It was a very, I may not like the call, but it was a penalty. So in the meantime, enforcers, and you can see around the ground all the trophies that Forest has won over the years, including their own FA Cup. Fulham, on the other hand, still searching for their first real trophy. We don't count the Intertour. And Jimenez goes down. It's the head. Well, actually, looks like more of the jaw. We'll see what happens here. And, and let's say there was slight. No, that wasn't really. No, that wasn't an elbow. I mean, that is, but Jimenez really needs to be careful because he could have gotten a car for simulation. He really could have gotten a call for simulation there. But again, right now, while this is a pause, let's take a thing to identify. It is round 30 at the City Ground in Nottingham. Jimenez still down. In the meantime, Jimenez is gonna have to go. He's gonna go off the pitch for a little while. Crowd's booing. Every right to. Like Silva said in the game against Southampton, if I was the crowd, I'd boo too. So, but it's interesting to see. We're in the 15th minute. Nothing has really happened in this game. And right now, the longer that this goes, the more nervous as a Fulham fan you're gonna get. Because both their last two games have been 1-0 wins, both by Southampton and West Ham. And it was a last week was very, very. If you're a Fulham fan, that was very, very weird. You get the win against Spurs. You're happy about that. You're starting to think European football. Then you lose midweek to West Ham. You give them hope of staying in the Prem. And then the following Sunday you lose to Southampton on a penalty. And granted, yes, the West Ham and Southampton game, Harry Wilson isn't in there. Kevin is basically gone for the rest of the season, but that shouldn't be like those two factors shouldn't be like they're gone now we can't score at all. Milinkovic, very, very good ball. Leno comes out and gets to it. Not like that West Ham game. Very long ball, but very good ball. Hey, Igor Jesus really actually had a shot at that. Tete was able to keep it in for a minute and not really. And now it's a throw in for Forrest. Sandberg's trying to get it to Iwobi. Still nothing there. Bassi kicks it back to Leno just to play it safe. Leno to Tete. Iwobi trying to Sanderberg back to Iwobi. Iwobi's able to try to get free up Jimenez. Jimenez is able to track it down. He's thrown down. Wilson is fouled. And there's going to be Nico Williams. Yellow card. Okay, they're saying it could have been Murillo. It actually could have been two cards. So Murillo actually grabs, throws Jimenez to the ground, and then Wilson's on the break. Nico takes him out. Yellow card. It's going to be a free kick for Fulham. Fulham has really not been great on free kicks this year, but they got to find something. So you got Anderson. Give him the play. It's going to be Harry Wilson and Alex Iwobi over the ball. Iwobi. Boot. Bassi! Wow. The the keeper. Matses is able to hold that ball. Man, that was I really could use it. But let's just a great Bassi, he's on. Bassi's onside header, but it was straight at the keeper. It was straight at the keeper. Murillo was marking him. Man, so I mean, nearly nutmeg cells, and but still, that was a great effort by Bassi. Just they could have been 1-0 anywhere but there, but even so, he's able to almost nutmeg the keeper. Oscar Bob finds Josh King. Josh King on the side sees Robinson going behind. He should have passed it to Robinson, but instead tried to get it to Oscar Bob in the box, and he's marked out. Thrown for Forrest. Welcome, falling a well. Definitely go Fulham. I could definitely use them. They really, really need the 3 points. I'm not even talking about European places now. I'm talking just to stay up because they're not safe yet either. Forest slowing it down, but they've definitely had more possession as of late. That long ball, trying to find Hudson Odoi. Hudson Odoi has it. Try to try to slide to Dominguez, but it's just a little too far forward, and it's going to be a goal kick for Fulham. Bassi gives it up, and it's going to be near the byline, and it's going to be a throw in for force in Fulham's half. Just like at Tom Carney, I see him on the bench. He's kind of stretching himself out, I think. And they're throwing in towards the cloud stand. Is not able to channel in his not able to channel his Rory Delap, and instead it's going to be a corner for Forest. And it looks like Elliot Anderson's going to take the corner. Fulham seems to have everyone marked except Murillo. Jesus with a header goes out to the left side. It's going to be a goal kick for Fulham. Apologize. It is slightly cold in my house, so that's why you see this. The Premier League will have new rules next year for time wasting. The wind, oh man, sorry. The wind blew, has been blowing the ball. Leno's able to get the kick off. Looks like it was looking like it was going to go to Josh King. Awobi's able to find it, but instead, a little bit of rough goes to Tete. Tete trying to find Awobi. It's not going to happen. It goes out, and it's going to be a throw for Fulham. And the crowd again with the "Come on, Fulham" chants. Awobi trying to find Harry Wilson, taken out by Murillo. Wilson slips. Josh King trying to work on Hudson Odoi. Oh, and a very blatant foul on Bob. And so it's going to be a throw in for Anthony Robinson. It wasn't a foul, it just went out. And believe me, I'm going to try my best to be impartial, but I'm not going to act like there isn't some bias for Fulham because I'm a Fulham supporter. But I am going to try to call it down the middle as much as I can. Wilson tries to kick it, gets deflected. Back to Anderson. Anderson's going to send it back to Leno. Leno to Bassi. Bassi finds Joshua King. King, Bassi trying to find Tete. Sorry, it will be. Tete tried to swing it to Bob. Bob nowhere near that. Taken back by Fulham. And some frustration is just kicking in for both teams as we're getting towards the end of the 25th minute. Harry Wilson trying to find Anthony Robinson. It does not happen, and it's going to be kicked out by force. It's going to be a throw for Fulham, and Anthony Robinson's going to throw it in. He sees both Josh King and Oscar Bob. Throws from Oscar Bob, gets it back to. I was going to say gets it back, but instead it does go out on Fulham, and it's going to be a throw in from Forrest. Robinson with the header, but it's not enough. And another throw in for Forrest. During the 26th minute, no score so far. Robinson tried to go with the interception. Bossy kind of rubbing the thigh a little bit. But thank you. We have 80 views so far. We have 5 people in. Welcome, welcome. This is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham, one of the only streams that are devoted specifically to Fulham Football Club matches. They're calling for, they're saying that Harry Wilson handball, but no, it was off the arm. Ball goes back to Leno, trying to find Bassey. Bassey to Anthony Robinson. Fulham again is having a hard time really getting breaks, even though Josh King tries to find Bob. Forrest is able to easily get back. King again. Anthony Robinson. Great job slowing it down. Was trying to find King in the box. Again, one of the biggest things with Fulham is their inability to work from the right side of the pitch. All that happened on the left side, if anyone was listening or is watching. You can see where we're synced up. We're slowly creeping into the 28th minute. And they're going to claim a foul on Sanderberg. Elliot Anderson is down. Slowly but surely he's getting back up. Forrest. Not much else to say. Elliot. Kicking back to Murillo. On the halfway line. Back to Ibrahim. Ibrahim trying to go up. Anderson. Going back. Forrest is just slowing it down. Trying to free up Nico Williams. Tete deals with him. Iwobi finds Harry Wilson. Iwobi kicking it back to Sanderberg. Sanderberg. Josh King. Josh King to Robinson. Anthony Robinson into the box. Was trying to find Wilson in the middle. Not able to happen. And Nico Williams they get the ball back, but only goes as far as Tete. Sandberg finds Jimenez. Jimenez kicks it back out. Iwobi. Nice defensive header by Ana. Sorry, Aina. Tete with the slide. Now Bassey. Fulham, great movement, but just nothing ending up with a shot on target. In the meantime, what's happening is exactly that. With not being able to move forward, slowly it's going back. Now Fulham's back on their own side of the pitch with Anderson taking over. Now Fulham has to make their way back forward. Anderson swinging it, trying to find Tete. No, sorry, Harry Wilson. And now Forrest. Anderson. Anderson has Jesus in the box. Hudson Odoi Has to swing it back out to Anderson. Anderson is being marked. Singare passes it back to Hudson Adoy. Adoy. Corner. Jesus. No, that was not Jesus. That was Gibbs White. It goes out, and it's going to be a goal kick. Yeah, it goes off of Tete, then Gibbs White, and then goes out off of that. Still no shots on goal for Forest. Oh, Fulham that one shot on goal, of course, that header by Calvin Bassey, which nearly nutmegged the keeper. Anderson, it's a slide. It's going to be a card on. I think it's going to be Tete with the yellow. We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch this again because I'm not sure exactly what happens here. And it's going to be Sanderberg that gets the card. Yeah, because okay, yeah, because Anderson gets the ball, but it is Sanderberg who does foul him before that happens. So now Force has an opportunity. They're going to have a free kick. Tete, Awobi, Sanderberg, Jimenez. They're all on the wall. Merlo, Gibbs White, and it looks like Nico Williams. They're all there. Josh King is on the ground. Well, yes, Anthony Robinson. Yeah, the fate of the young one. Harry Wilson to the left, Anderson, Bob to the right. Fulham's not the greatest at defending free kicks. Force is not the greatest at converting free kicks. But Gibbs White does get it on target, and it will count as an attempt on target. Robinson, able to get to it, but not able to. He's marked very well by Anderson. And just like that, Fulham, no breaks. They cannot. Fulham cannot break. Get a break on the ball. You're really gonna see them actually, have a 2-on-1 advantage. While they try to free up Williams, but it is intercepted by Harry Wilson. Sanderberg now has to be careful now that he is on a yellow. Sanderberger does find Robinson. Robinson has Josh King behind him, easily intercepted by Doy. And Leno way outside the box. Bassi. Josh King is able to get it up. Yeah, they're just mentioning that Fulham can go up to eighth if they can actually win this and win it by a certain margin. And wow, foul on King. That may Ina. King's calling for a card. I don't think it's a card. I think it's just late. No, he goes in. No, he doesn't have a chance at the ball, but it's not blatant either. I mean, the foul is blatant, but not like card blatant. And as it's intercepted by Forrest. Gibbs White, great job just maintaining possession. Murillo, they're sending it back. And Forts are going to try to slow it down. This half has been kind of going by not so much as quickly. There is going to be some stoppage time because of Jimenez being down for a little bit. But I don't know. There's not much you can really say except, I want to say this is Fulham's half, but it really isn't. Fulham has had the possession, but not by much. In the meantime, Williams into the box, tees up Dominguez, and it is another. Just like that, Leno making a save. I don't know if it would have actually, if it's considered on frame or not, but it will be considering that Leno did have to die for that. No, no, that was on frame. And just like that, Force has more shots. Force has more possessions. Force has had more corners. Yeah, Force is. This has been Force's game so far. If there was a man of the match for Fulham, it's Calvin Bassey, and that's literally from both an offensive and defensive point of view. Awobi trying to find Bob. Baba was able to get to it. Jimenez easily muscled out and Force tried to make a break, but ultimately it goes back to Leno. Now to Anderson. No offsides. Fulham's committed more fouls. Yeah, you wouldn't tell, and that's the thing. You wouldn't be telling a team if you were to say which team's fighting for relegation, which team's fighting for Europe. You really couldn't tell right now. Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson tried a shot nowhere. It was deflected by Murillo, and the keeper is able to take it. Gibbs White on Tete. And this is not great. Let's see what happened here. You're saying finger in the eye from Gibbs White. I mean, it's Anderson. Great job getting it to him, but again, it's still just working from that left side, and that's not going to work all the time. They have to find a way to move from the right side to the center, not just left side to center, because that's easily something any team can see. Wilson being marked by Nico Williams into the box. Tete and the crowd is letting Tete know how they feel. Yeah. Yeah, anytime Tete gets the ball, that's exactly what's going to happen from here on out. Bassey, Anthony Robinson, trying to free up Josh King. Josh King does get the cross, but it's not a cross, it just sails. It's just sailing there. Still no score in this or any other game in this window. Man U and Aston Villa, no score there. Crystal Palace leads, no score there. The Crystal Palace Leeds game, I assure you, Norton Forest is definitely watching. There are people in the stands watching that one. And of course, if you are a Nottingham Forest fan, you are definitely cheering for Crystal Palace. Leeds is only currently 3 points up on Forest, according to the live table. A win would definitely could actually put Forest above Leeds. Now, just in the 42nd minute, Murillo trying to. I mean, it's not great when you say that this may be Bert Leno's best chance for a clean sheet. But the reason we're doing this or mentioning is because Forest has scored the fewest goals in the league with 28 outside of Wolves. Wolves has 22. But we're currently going for teams that are not in the relegation places. And as things stand, Forest is at 17th, tied on points with Spurs. Of course, that game against Liverpool will be later. Of course, yesterday was a surprise with West Ham able to get a point in their game against Manchester City. And of course, City was really, really hoping for that to gain a little bit of ground on Arsenal, but that doesn't seem like that's going to happen. That's going to be foul on Tete. I was trying to free up Jesus, and wisely, Joaquin Anderson gives up the corner, which Fulham has not had yet. Fulham has not had a single corner. That gets why interesting pass shot by Gibbs, and it just sails. But it's another forced corner. Gibbs White. I think it goes off. I think they're gonna say it went off of Oscar Bob. Oh no, Josh King. They're gonna say it went off of Josh King. And just like that, another corner for Forest. This is their fourth corner. Murillo tried to sail something, goes off of Josh King. For what it's worth, Josh King has not played bad in this first half. Robinson gets to it, takes it back to Leno, kicks it back to Robinson. Robinson's able to get the ball to Harry Wilson, but just as far as Nico Williams. Wilson sidestep, and it's going to be a goal kick for Fulham. Bassett goes down a little bit. Indicator board has not gone up yet with for stoppage time. It's going to be 3 minutes. Bassey is definitely not someone you want to go on the bench, but Bassey has taken some hits. It looks like it was like around lower shin, but man, right now he's had the best so far. He's definitely had the best attempt on goal so far. It's the mark. It's going off that left side, but he couldn't actually curve the ball a little bit more to the left. In the meantime, Forrest going on the break tried to be, and it's going to be out for a forced throw. And Forrest just great pressure, but intercepted. Josh King, Josh King, and he gets the foul, and it's going to be, and Elliot Anderson is going to get the card. I mean, it was definitely a hesitation by Josh King, but yeah, it's like I can't nowhere to go, and Anderson nicks his foot, and Fulham has a free kick. The question is, depending on where this goes, Jimenez, Anderson, Harry Wilson over the ball. Yeah, it's been a very quiet first half. I don't think anyone's going to deny that it's been a very, very quiet first half. That is some Wilson straight into the wall, and Fulham finally gets a freaking corner. It took so long for that to actually happen. Wilson, nothing but net for Josh King. And the whistle goes, balloon goes on the pitch. Tension is an tension is an understatement. There was no tension in this first half. There was no true tension in this first half. And just like that, it's halftime. It's halftime. There's no score. I mean, what do you say? I mean, Fulham was outplayed. I feel very weird saying that, but that's the thing. Fulham was outplayed. There's nothing to, you know. And what can you say? This was, and I'm just okay. They're gonna say Fulham had an offsides. Okay, I'm laughing at that because it doesn't seem like they did, but that's what they're gonna say. But that's the tail of the tape right now. There is no score in this game. It is. I mean, Bassi definitely had the best opportunity, but I think what they're also saying is that maybe wasn't even really a shot. Oh, okay. It doesn't count because they're saying Bassi was offsides. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's where the offside comes from. For a team on the brink of relegation, Force has no. I'll say this much: Force has definitely shown more fight than Fulham. The stats are. I mean, at least they're having some shots on goal. They're getting they're getting corners. Their aggressiveness for the most part. Like I wish I wasn't saying this, but Force definitely has a better chance in this game than Fulham. Because I don't know. I mean, yes, you can bring in just who you have on the bench. You do have Chukwueze, Muniz, Carney, Sasha Lukic, Harrison Reed, which those are the five I'm expecting to actually get into this game versus Diop, Sessegnon. Well, Sessegnon I may put in there just for pace. Castagna, and of course Leconte for the keeper position. But yeah, but no score in any of these games. Crystal Palace leads, no score. Manchester United, Villa, no score. And then of course the next game or the final game of the docket is of course Liverpool, Tottenham, and then tomorrow will be Brentford and Wolves. With Wolves just Wolves is cheering for Fulham. Full, Wolves is still not is not eliminated yet. Mm, I mean, which hey, what can you say? Two wins, a loss to Palace, and then two draws. They drew Forest back in February, drew Arsenal, beat Liverpool, beat Villa. I mean, hey, stranger things had happened, and of course, Burnley's next game is a Fulham on the 21st on Saturday. Well, Forest gets Spurs, and I think that's the thing. Forest would love to have this game going into Spurs next week. So you're absolutely right. Forest is doesn't really have a fight, but Forest is not. I mean, there's literally a reason they're second in goal. They're second to the bottom in goals scored with 28. Only team that's done worse is literally Wolves with 22. But at the same time, you look at Forest and Fulham, and they've both given up the same amount of goals at 43. So I don't know where I really don't know where you put this now. I want to say Fulham will come out in the second half and do something, but I can't say that either. I mean, this is the Fulham team right now with the fewest draws in their team's history, with 4. Here they'd be going for a fifth, which I would take the draw if this means that Fulham will finally in 15 games will have a clean sheet. I will take the 0-0 draw if we're able to keep a clean sheet. But yeah, it's halftime. I want to thank all the people who have been watching, coming through, checking out the stream. I mean, it literally does seem like it's hard to say this is a mid-table versus a team in relegation. This literally looks like two teams. Like this seems like instead of the end of the season, this like really does seem like an early season game. Like this seems like like this is like a second or third game of the season type game. And let's not forget Fulham won the game just before Boxing Day, but that was only because of a penalty but from Jimenez. So Fulham has not beaten them, from the run of play, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen again. Like this literally may be one of those games where it's gonna go down to a penalty. It's gonna go down to an error. It may go down to a red card. Like neither team looks impressive. Neither team has really had any great shots on goal or even making space. With Fulham, I've said the same thing. They have to find some way to work the right side of the pitch, and not just we're crossing over to the left side or we're crossing into the middle. Tete and Iwobi have to find some way to actually break from that side and maybe find a way to get across into Jimenez or Wilson. But if nothing else, then maybe, just maybe, actually hold the ball up and see if they can create some chances. While Forrest has just been either getting breaks or they've been going long ball, which, hey, I'm not surprised, and big ups to him. I think if you're Forrest, you're okay with the draw. You want the 3 points. It's very possible. Like, I don't have a winner in this game. And the reason I didn't even preview or anything like that, outside of the fact I was out of town, was the fact that I can't pick one. To be honest, I still one of those things where it is that with the first time these two played, there was nothing spectacular, and it was a Jimenez penalty in stoppage time in the first half. It was 45 plus 5 minutes of stoppage time. It was in the fifth minutes of stoppage time. That's the only reason Fulham was able to get the win in that one. And of course, in this game, compared to the last time these two played, or Force's last win, which was in 2024, there is no Chris Wood. But they do have Hutchinson and Nadoy on the bench as far as their strikers. McAtee in that midfield, and Murado as a defender. Like those are like I wouldn't be surprised if those are the ones we should be expecting. And granted, I would be a little bit more concerned if Chris Wood was in this game, but he's not coming back till April. So we definitely will see where that happens. Anyway, we're gonna put 5 minutes on the clock for halftime. Everyone, do what you need to do. If you use facilities, get something to snack on and whatnot. But we'll be back in 5. This one, I don't know. I'm hoping for a good second half. I mean, that's really all I can say is I'm really hoping for a good second half. Because if it's more than this, then I don't blame why there's only 3 people watching this stream. Thanks again for everyone who has decided to sweat it out with me. This is Jonas Nebraska with Up the Fulham. We'll see you back in the second half. Sorry, sorry. I know. Second half is kicked back off. It's- It looks like one change. Long ball into the box. Anderson's able to deal with it. Mm. No, there is not a sense of calmness. All right, and now we cut back up. I know that Force had a substitution, but oh, I love that one for the omitted. But as always, for those joining for the second half, this is Jonas Braska with Up the Fulham. The place you come for live reaction and watch alongs for Fulham FC matches. Here is one that is, well, they say don't should be omitted from the history books. This is Fulham at the City Ground with Nottingham Forest. Forest, with this draw, as things stand, would be 17th and outside the relegation zone. Fulham would stay in 12th, and European dreams slipping with each and every game. And the other thing, and I'm just kind of glad that this did not happen, was that Fulham nearly gave up a penalty. Not nearly. Sheesh. I didn't quite give myself enough time, but I apologize. And no, Forrest hoping hopefully for another. But luckily it was offsides on Forrest. Because Bassi was scared that he may have given up a penalty. And I said that this was last thing you want is a game to be determined by a penalty, but Ledoy definitely has been pretty good going in the second half. But he's offsides. And Tete's up. He's clearly marked offsides. But Nadoy still just already has made a clear impact. And of course, Hutchinson is coming in for Adoy. For Hudson Adoy. So Amari Hutchinson with that. And just like that, Forrest has already made two subs. Hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully, well, I would say hopefully you're enjoying the game so far, but there hasn't been that much to enjoy. I mean, if you're a Forest fan, you're definitely happy because it's 0-0. If you're a Fulham fan, well, I mean, you haven't given up a goal yet. But you don't seem like you want to score one either. But hopefully everyone's doing well. If you're a Forest fan, how do you think they're going to get back in the second half? If you're a Fulham fan, what would you like to see other than a shot on goal? Because that's definitely what I'd like to see. Wilson gets it way out to Oscar Bob. And Bob, yeah, he touched that. That's uh, yeah, that was that. It wasn't blatant. It was yeah, it was pretty blatant. That was a pretty blatant handball by Oscar Bob. But if you're Marco Silva, nice interception by Anderson. Anderson was trying to find Oscar Bob. No, not Basu Bob, but Josh King. Slight adjustment of the left cam. Approaching the 56th minute, still no score. Tete trying to free up Jimenez. Murillo deals with it, gets it back to the keeper. Nothing. They're saying searching. I guess searching is a better way to putting it. Jimenez. Iwobi. Just straight to Aina. Forrest trying to break it. Crowd's rising up. Bassi. Great job marking Hutchinson. Again, Calvin Bassi has definitely been the one bright light in this entire game for Fulham. Linkovic. And there, throw in, not really dealt with well. Elliott trying to find Jesus. Hutchinson tried to slide it in. Nothing there. Anywhere but here as Fulham boots it out, and it's again another throw in for Forrest. This second half has just been Forrest. And it's not just who's going to break the deadlock here, who's going to break the deadlock in the other games, and the answer is Manchester United. As they put one up on Villa, and what a opportunity from Forrest. Aina, nearly. But the Forest crowd is still happy about that. And again, this has been Forest's game. Hutchinson. Robinson doesn't deal with it. Into the box was looking for Jesus. Oscar Bob trying to keep possession. But Aina deals with it, and it's going to be a throw in for Fulham. And again, Bassi marked him, but that was just a great attempt by Aina. And it's just, yeah, Lena was beat, and it just goes off the top of the woodwork. That that easily could have been 1-0. Hope and pray is definitely a way of putting it. Nico Williams lets that go out, hugs the camera, and Tete throws it in. Bassi That may have been. I would have. I don't know if I would have wanted to blame Bassi on that, but yeah, if Ina would have scored, that just would have been a great goal from Ina, and Bassi maybe just being a step or two behind. Anderson trying to swing it out. And it's a big Bassi to Wilson to Sanderberg. Sanderberg with it finds Harry Wilson on the right. Wilson was trying to slide it into Jimenez. Not happening. And it's going to go out on Harry Wilson. All right, 60th minute. It looks like Force is about to make another change. I haven't really seen any activity. Tete pulls Nadoy down. Yes, Rodrigo Muniz, Chukwueze. A green balloon is on the pitch. It's slowly rolling off the pitch. Josh King trying to get to it. No luck there. Ina. Hutchinson. There's going to be a foul on Anthony Robinson. And he's going to get a card for that. One sec. Sorry, I had a drink to the side. Nice three kick into the box. Anderson's able to get to it. Fulham trying to find a break. Harry Wilson tried to slide to Jimenez. Jimenez is trying to track it down, and he's not able to. And of course, Rodrigo Muniz is going to come in for Raul Jimenez. And the frustrations just continue. And Anthony Robinson, his night is over as well. And it looks like Sasha Lukic and Chukwueze are coming in. And these are not bad changes, before the 45. Oh my gosh! It's been coming. And I can't even say it's not deserved. I can't even say it's not deserved. I can't even say it's not deserved. We're gonna see. VAR. No score. And you can see that crowd. And again, no spoilers in the chat. Muniz tried. And Aina with the header. And it's going to be a corner for Fulham. No. No. Lukic scuffs that. But just like that, business is picked up in this one. But no. Yes, both teams are going for it all of a sudden. It's just like a life switch, like, oh, this is a game. We kind of have to try to win this now. And just like that, Chukwueze, Wilson, to Kenny Tete, Chukwueze, tried to get it to Iwobi, nothing happening there. Forrest was trying to free up Taiwo, but is dealt with by Anderson. Suddenly, it almost seems like we have a game. And of course, there's rain. It goes out, and it's going to be a forced throw. Nico Williams. And it's going to go out for a Fulham throw. You know, City Ground isn't filled with joy, but it has its own charm to it. But this is we're slowly approaching the 70th minute. There's each team has made their share of subs. Fulham made. I mean, I'm glad Silva made some subs. Before the 65th minute. This is now just on the players. Like these are the like for Fulham. These are you want to get to Europe. These are the games you win. You beat West Ham, you beat Forest, and you beat Burnley. So far, they lost to West Ham. They're very lucky they're not losing to Forest because Robinson's trying his best to get the ball out. Sanderberg at the Bassi, and now Iwobi has to kick it back to Anderson. Anderson having to bring the ball up. That's never a good thing. We're in the 70th minute. There's still no score here. Sanderberger trying to find Iwobi. Out to Chukwueze. Chukwueze does have a couple of goals. Tried to get it out to Lukic. Lukic did not see it. So it's back to Tete. Tete could use some help. Kicks it back to Anderson. Muniz was marking, saying, hey, please put the ball here. Iwobi. Anthony Robinson. Tried to get it in towards Muniz. It goes off, and it's going to be a goal kick for Forest. It is raining. And again, VAR ruled it offsides. Nadoy nearly. Yeah. I mean, he's off. It's off. It's close. But still, that's a great effort. And just maybe that may have saved Leno from giving up another goal. And his streak continuing. As things stand, again, Force is at 17 with 8 goals behind Spurs. Leeds with 32 points. There's still no score in that game. With Man U, it's 2-1 against Villa. And Kunta was just scored. With all their goals have happened in the second half. Sasha Lukic out to Tete. Tete. Yeah, it's a frustrating half. Lukic was trying to get the corner. Nico Williams does with it. And Nico Williams is able to earn himself a throw for Forrest. Yeah. Whew. That was close. Like, all this has been close. Bassi kicks it back to Leno. Each team has used 3 substitutions. You have Tom Carney, Harrison Reed, Castagna, Sessegnon, and Diop on the bench for Fulham. Nets, Morado, Bakwa, McAtee, and Yates for Forest. Gunn and Lecomte are the keepers. Victor Pereira, of course, the coach for Forest. Marco Silva, the coach for Fulham. As Gibbs White, the captain, comes off, gives up the armband, and Yates is coming in. Yeah, Yates. I mean, there may have been something with Gibbs White. Yates able to get a header first time. Hutchinson. That's going to be a foul on Joaquin Anderson. Very, very blatant. Professional foul. Not a good one. Joaquin Anderson has had a really rough couple of games. And it would have been very, very rough if he would have gotten it right for that. Hutchinson, Yates, Forrest has one substitution left. Fulham with two. Hutchinson into the box, nothing there. Back out to Elliott. Yates tried to hook it. Dealt with by Muniz. Wilby's able to kick it back only to Aina. And Forrest recollects. Hutchinson. Marked by Anthony Robinson. Hutchinson slides into the box. Anderson is Robinson's are able to get something. Yates goal kick. Refs laughing. But still, Forrest still seeming like the team that's going to score. Yates calling for thinking it came off of Chukwueze. Does not get the corner. If Tom Carney's going to come in, I imagine it's going to be closer to the 80th minute. Or Harrison Reed. Robinson trying to find Wilson. Elliot Williams, great job just heading it out. It's going to be a throw in for Fulham, but this is going to let Forrest get some men back. Again, approaching where we're at now. There's a slight come on Fulham chant. Kenny Tete's going to do the throw. Wilson, Tete with the cross into the box. Muniz trying to get to it. Awobi trying to retrieve, but no, it's Hutchinson. Hutchinson. Bassi deals with it. Nicely done. And Bassi gets fouled. The crowd is booing. But like I said, if I had to pick a man of the match, it's Calvin Bassi. And this is why. He's been the most threatening person, both offensively and defensively, on the pitch for Fulham. And Tom Carney's coming in for Sanderberg. Definitely more control on the ball. It's not even like that's literally why Tom Carney's in, is to hold and move the ball. Because slowly we're creeping towards that 80th minute. Sorry, this game's not boring. This game is just frustrating to watch. As Lukic gets the ball up to Robinson. Robinson back to Tom Carney. That day they're just now going to try to get it around Wilson. is having to track back, being marked very well by Elliot Anderson. Iwobi having to track back. Sorry, it was Nico Williams who was marking. Back to Bassi. And again, there's Fulham can't really make runs with the ball. So it's this like slow down, half pitch action that seems to be going on. I mean, I get that you're waiting for possession, waiting for something to open up. But it's very clear the difference that Kevin and Wilson made together is that for teams playing Fulham, it's like they gave them another threat. Because now it's like if you're forced, it's like you mark Wilson, you mark Iwobi, who's really there that's left? Is it going to be Chukwueze? Is it going to be Captain Bassi? Is it going to be Sasha Lukic? I mean, what's really left? And now Fulham has one substitution left. And normally I would say it's probably going to be Harrison Reed coming in. The question is if it's going to be from an offensive or defensive side of the ball. But Fulham has had to just keep moving it back. Now, Man U, it's three. They're 3-1 up on Villa. Leeds, Crystal Palace, no score. Still, Chukwueze, no corner. No corner. It's goal kick for Forest. I'm sorry. This has just been. Chukwueze did a good job of getting the ball to Iwobi. Iwobi just not really able to cleanly work with that run. Nico Williams, Forrest, running again. Williams. Milinkovic. I haven't really gotten a chance to hear that name. Yeah, I gotta get that down for a second there because this is just Robinson. Hutchinson has done a really good job marking Robinson and just not really letting him do much with the ball. Carney tried to find Wilson, deflected by Sangare. And now if you're Silva, you're like, where if I'm gonna make use my last sub, when do I do this? Am I chasing after the game or am I chasing after the draw? Because Forrest has definitely been the better side. I don't think anyone's gonna deny that. Wilson cross trying to find Muniz. Muniz blocked out, and it's gonna be a goal kick for Forrest. And now that we're closing in on the closing moments of the game, more and more people are showing up in the chat and showing up in the room. Thank you very much. For those who don't know, I'm Jonas Brasco, and this is Up the Fulham. We're trying our best to see Fulham see this and maybe get 3 points to get off not just these last 3 games, but the fact that we haven't scored in the last 3 games. Both the Southampton and West Ham game ended 1-0 in favor of the other teams. This game is slowly cruising to a 0-0 draw. But Bassi, again, that defense. And Bassi taking another hit. Either a shove, but then Yates kind of comes into him late. I don't think it's a card or anything like that, but yeah, Bassi just showing that nice, a nice aggressive play. Like he's not getting pushed around. I've seen Jimenez get pushed. I've seen, Josh King is kind of bony, so I'm not gonna fault him too much for that. He's no longer on the pitch either. So Muniz breaks away, trying to find Chukwueze in the box, but Fulham is able to get a corner, and I think this is only like their second corner of the game too. There's been like few and far between in that department. This is gonna be Harry Wilson, who, despite everything, is still in the game, which I'm slightly surprised. He's been out the last two games, but he's done 85 minutes so far. Corner back post, Tete tried to get up towards. Doesn't happen, and it should be another corner to Fulham. And Yates may not be happy with it, but Yates definitely, it did go off of him. So, sorry. Another thing that hasn't happened is an, some own goal luck for Fulham. Alex Iwobi's going to take this one. Not easily. Ina gets up on that. Iwobi trying to get back into the box. Working against Hutchinson, finds a way into it, but there's no one there. And it's dealt with easily by Forrest. Robinson gets back because Taiwo was trying to make the break. Back to Leno, 87th minute. Still doesn't look like this deadlock is going to be broken. Again, I think this hurts Fulham more than it helps Forest, but at the same time, for Forest, it gets them out of that bottom three. And for Fulham, just the fact that it's like we actually have a game for the first, in the last 15 that we didn't give up a goal. Sangari finds Taiwo. Taiwo is open. Taiwo shoots and slides it left. Best opportunity for Forest that was not offsides. And looks like Forest is going to use their final sub. And they're going to say he was offsides, but still a good run. Elliot Anderson's coming off. No surprise. And for Forest, this is going to be it for their lineup. And this will be the final substitution for Forest. So, with that being said, what you see is what you get for the rest of the game. Fulham still has one substitution left, but it doesn't matter. Hutchinson into the box. Finds Williams. Williams tried the in swing, but it is deflected. But Murillo is holding it up for Forrest. There's going to be a whistle. Drop ball. I don't know if something was on the pitch or whatnot, but goes back to the keeper. Almost Nottingham. Well, I mean, they're trying to go, but it does not. But right now, it doesn't look like either team. Leeds, Palace, still no score in that game. And that's, yeah, they're mentioning that right now, Forest is 17, level on points with Tottenham, but the goal differential is the difference. Of course, if they win, they will go on top of Spurs. And then, of course, next week they face Spurs. McAtee gets past Lukic. McAtee into the box. Lukic is able to get it back. Nico Williams recovers for Forest. Cross. Yates. There was no one there. Yates is calling for a foul. It's not happening. 6 minutes of stoppage for this one. And Ryan Sessegnon is going to come in for Harry Wilson. I was very surprised that Wilson lasts as long as he did in this game, considering everything. But Sessegnon, no surprise, just some fresh legs, a little bit of speed. Sessegnon has been known to score. And so this is how so this is what we're gonna end this with. Muniz is down. Yeah, Muniz is up. He's moving. Oh, yeah, that's not. Yeah, the Yates. He's on Yates. Murillo got him nicely. Yeah, that was not a that wasn't a simulation or anything. That was like a legitimate knock there. One more people creeping into this one. And it's not a corner, it's a goal kick for Fulham. Yeah, no one has created enough to say that they're going to win the game. Force has definitely been more aggressive. Robinson trying to find Chukwueze. Chukwueze trying to go back into Robinson, easily taken care of by Yates. No, not McAtee. Why did I say Yates? Apologies. Ball goes off. It's still in play. Still Chukwueze. Awobi finds Tete. Tete out to Sessegnon. Sessegnon outside being marked by Williams. Sessegnon was trying to slide it in. Nothing happening there. Just lots of whistles. Crowd. Crowd. Well, I can't say the crowd's on their feet. But it's Tom Kearney. Trying to find Robinson. Able to get it, keep it in. Muniz in the box. Nothing there. And now Forrest trying to get on the break. Tete. Back to Leno. Lukic. To Tete. Sessignon trying to find, looks like he was trying to find a Wobie. Sacha Lukic, Carney, Tom Carney. He would not shoot from there. Iwobi was trying to find for Sessignon, and Sessignon just like very very long ball. Daiwo, they want a foul. There's no foul. Tom Carney, Iwobi, Sessignon is wanting this now. Iwobi towards that back post. Again, I'm just putting it in because we're now final. We're getting into that final minute. We're in that final minute. Nice boot by Says. Iwobi, Chukwueze, Taiwo, Taiwo, and he got the corner. But great job by Tete. Great job by Tete. King Kenny, great slide. Force, opportunity. Everyone's up for this one. Hutchinson, into the box. Out. McAtee, Nico Williams, heading towards Hutchinson. Hutchinson, force back. Stolen by Sessignon. Sessignon for Tom Carney. Tom Carney tripped. Wow. This century. Oh. It was a scrap. This game was definitely a scrap. Neither team deserved the 3 points. 1 point honestly seems fair. Calvin Bassey, man of the match. Leno, congrats on getting the clean sheet. You actually gonna help my fantasy a little bit because Harry Wilson couldn't do anything. Even though Wilson's gonna get that defensive point as well. And for Forest fans that were in the chat, in the room, we hope you enjoyed this one. I know you didn't enjoy the result, but out of the relegation places, and also it should be noted that Leeds, even though it's five, okay, well, I won't quite go to bonus coverage, but this is what I'm going to tell you right now. So it's no score. It's no score between Crystal Palace and Leeds. Gudmundsson, who got an own goal in our game against them earlier this year, has a red. They've basically been playing. Leeds been playing a man down for half the game. They have 5 minutes of stoppage time there. It's in the ninth. It is actually in the 95th minute now, or the 5th minute of the stoppage time. Palace has the ball. It's cleared away, but it's now thrown to Palace. This one's important because of the table. A lead, a win by Palace would, well, that actually would take them above us. But Fulham does move up a place to 11th. McCoy pass into the box, but it's cleared away by Leeds. Whistle still has not gone off yet, and they're already in the 95th. And 5 minutes of stoppage has passed in that game. But Leeds will be at 32 points of the way things in now. The Tottenham game will be on in about 30 minutes. Forest, Tottenham will be next week. Fulham will be back at home in the cottage against Burnley. And that one's going to be a Saturday morning game. Fulham was able to deal with Burnley earlier. That game went full time. Palace and Leeds is the second 0-0 draw of the afternoon. So so the bottom of the table is interesting as every team, with the exception of with Spurs and Wolves still to play, every team from the bottom half and down has drawn. From Crystal Palace, Leeds, Forest, West Ham, Burnley, all drew this week, either 0-0 or 1-1. You don't get a loss until like Sunderland at 13th, and that's Brighton winning 1-0. It is again. It's gonna be an interesting route. This didn't necessarily go full. Fulham did get a win off. I mean, not a win, but they got a point from this. And with that, that means Fulham has 5 draws on the season, which is tied for their lowest. Yeah, losing money and Fulham. Well, Fulham didn't win. Fulham did not win this one, but they didn't lose, and they didn't give up a goal. So take that as definitely take that for a Fulham fan. Small victories. Forest, again, you're out of the relegation places, and you will not go. And at least until the next week, that's where you'll stay. Since West Ham and Burnley both drew, Wolves, Wolves actually puts themselves in an interesting place. They will only be, if they can win, then they'll only be 10 points off, and still give themselves a shot at survival. Oh, Jimenez did not play well. Jimenez did not play well whatsoever, and I wouldn't. They just haven't. They've not found a way to get the ball to him. And considering how, for the most part, how healthy this team is, I think the international break is going to be really good because Jimenez seems to do pretty good coming back from playing for Mexico. So I would think just wait. Yeah, I think for right now, I think you just have to wait and see what happens after the Burnley game, because at least then you get a couple weeks, and then Fulham goes to Anfield and takes on Liverpool. And that'll be the 11th of April. But that's all I can really say for this one. This was not a This was nothing to write home about. But if you're Forest, hey, you're over the line. If you're Fulham, hey, you kept a clean sheet. But at the same time, this is 3 games in a row now. This is 3 games in a row that you have not scored. You've not scored a goal. And for the month, you have 1 goal. And that, I mean, you've scored 2 goals. And that was against Tottenham. Literally at the beginning of the month. You're now halfway through the month and you've had 2 consecutive you've had 2 1-0 losses and a 0-0 draw. With one more game, you get Burnley at home next week, or on Saturday, and then you get some time off for the break, which I think they'll need. I think they're going to need that time off. I think Harry Wilson going back to Wales, Robinson maybe getting some time with the men's national team. This was just, it's frustrating, but they didn't lose. So I don't know what else to say. I don't know, what else to expect. We'll be back again on Saturday. Final score: Nottingham Forest nil, Fulham nil. Go check out, see if Tottenham can pull something off against Liverpool. Once again, I'm Jonas Brasco. This is Up the Fulham. Have a good one. Because this definitely, well, you know what? You take it for what it is. Que sera, sera. Beware the Ides of March.